All right. Well, thank you for joining us this afternoon on 21 Next. I'm Kennedy Miller. We are kicking off our coverage with breaking news in the case against Sonya McKnight, who has been found guilty of attempted murder. We have Elise Person who's been following this case since the very start. She was also in the courtroom. She's joining us now with the very latest. So, Elise, what can you tell us?
Yeah, so actually just, hours ago around 11:30 this morning, the ruling came in that the verdict was in and the jury found former Dauphin County Judge Sonya McKnight, that's her right there on your screen, guilty of attempted first-degree murder and aggravated assault. So this trial kicked off 9 a.m. Monday morning, and it's been jam-packed. We saw over 20 witnesses. We saw 50 pieces of evidence presented by both, on either side, combined 50 pieces of evidence. But I'll say it was a quick verdict. The jury went into deliberation around 9:30 this morning, and the verdict was in around 11:15. So less than 2 hours for them to come to that guilty verdict for Miss McKnight. So I kind of want to paint a little bit of a picture of the courtroom. This is McKnight walking into, actually, I believe that was her preliminary hearing back, I want to say it was March 2024. It was, definitely 2024, soon after that attempted murder took place, which was February 10th, 2024. So when that verdict came in, I want to paint a picture of the courtroom. Like I said, you had McKnight sitting on the left side of the room with her defense attorney, her family sitting in the front row behind her. On the right side of the room was the Commonwealth District Attorney Sean McCormack from Cumberland County was the one representing the Commonwealth. And then Michael McCoy, the man McKnight is accused or now found guilty of shooting, was sitting right behind the Commonwealth. When the verdict was read, he kind of put his head down and there was a ledge in front of him, and he went like this on the ledge, seemingly in almost a sign of victory, if you would. Other than that, everybody in the courtroom was pretty quiet.
And Elise, I know that yesterday we had actually heard from McCoy. I mean, what were some of the things he was saying in the courtroom?
Yeah, so McCoy took the stand yesterday. He detailed the year-long relationship that he had with McKnight, but he also highlighted the fact that it wasn't always perfect. In fact, he said there were always issues, a lot of them surrounding trust issues, if you would, which he then, highlighted the week before that shooting, February 4th. He said he, told McKnight they were done. Please leave my house. They were both living together at the place that McCoy was living. It was made known during the trial that McKnight had her own residence in Harrisburg. So, really kind of highlighting the fact that she had somewhere else to go. She didn't have to be living with McCoy. He asked her all week, please leave, please leave, please leave, which led us then to that Friday, February 9th, evening. This is the neighborhood in which McCoy lived in, Saddle Ridge Drive, where on Friday, into Saturday around 12:30 or so, a 911 call was made for a man with significant bleeding. So McCoy testified to the fact that he woke up that early Saturday morning with the most extreme pain he's ever felt in his life. He said, I thought my brain was hemorrhaging. In fact, he said, I thought my brain was trying to get out of my head. He highlighted the injuries that he suffered because of, this gunshot. He said he is still in recovery. He's had to have 2 surgeries, one of which included putting a titanium plate in his eye. He was left legally blind right afterwards. His eyesight has since returned, but we were told by a specialist, an eye specialist during court, that he would have to go to a specialist for the rest of his life so that he does not lose the rest of his eyesight. So, he highlighted, what had happened, the relationship before. It was very interesting watching him take the stand. To be honest, if you were to see him in the street, you would never know that he was shot in the head about a year ago.
And what about today? I mean, when McKnight was given that guilty sentence, I mean, what was some of her reaction in the courtroom, if she had any at all?
Yeah, so her back was towards us, but I was taking close note of if we were going to see any emotion, if you would. Her shoulders didn't move. I couldn't see her face, as I had mentioned, but she seemed pretty quiet, kept a pretty, comfortable decorum, if you would. She didn't seem, obviously pleased, but she didn't seem too upset either. Right after that verdict was given, both the attorneys stood up, kind of gave their plea as to what they would like to see. The Commonwealth asked for her $300,000 bail that was originally set to be increased. The defense said, McKnight has showed up to every hearing. She's been out on bail. She has showed up early. She has not proven to be a flight risk. I think that she should be allowed to, essentially have a lower bail and potentially go home until that sentencing hearing, which is set for May. But ultimately, the judge ruled to set a $3 million bail. You could hear a quiet gasp in the courtroom once that was announced. And then McKnight had to remove all of her jewelry. So she took her pearl earrings off. Her necklace was removed with the help of a court officer. She was then cuffed and was immediately taken to Dauphin County Prison. And as she was led out of the courtroom, actually, I watched Mr. McCoy stand at the front and very closely follow her leaving with his head slightly nodding up and down. And I will say, I was watching him throughout the trial. He didn't seem to look at McKnight, at least from what I saw, once. This was the first time that I can put my finger on him looking at McKnight throughout this trial. So just, something interesting to note there.
All right, Elise, we appreciate your coverage throughout this entire time. If you would like to learn more information, we will have continuing coverage here on all platforms. You can actually find a link on our website, cbs21.com. And for now, we're going to sign things out. Thanks for joining us here on 21 Next.
Thanks, Kennedy.